Hello, and welcome to Fortress, Alaska. I'm your host, Dave, and today we're going to be talking about Veterans Day and the history behind it. And to start off with, let's talk about what Veterans Day actually is. Veterans Day is the honoring of those veterans who served in the U.S. military and left service honorably. Memorial Day is when we honor those who were killed while serving their country. And Armed Services Day is when we honor those who are still on active duty. So Veterans Day is just honoring those who served and left U.S. military service honorably. One thing to note is the proper spelling of Veterans Day includes no apostrophe. It is a plural. It is not a possessive form. So it's to honor all veterans. It's not their day. It's a day to honor them. So the proper spelling is no apostrophe in it. Kind of a silly little thing, but maybe a need-to-know item. Let's talk about the history of Veterans Day. Veterans Day has its origins in the Great War, now known as World War I. The Great War ended officially with the Treaty of Versailles in June 28, 1919. However, all hostilities ceased in 1918 on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Yes, November 11th. So all hostilities ceased for World War I, or known then as the Great War, on November 11th. In 1919, President Wilson proclaimed November 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day, but it was not an official government holiday. However, by 1926, there were a number of states that recognized November 11th as a legal holiday. In fact, I believe it was 27 states considered November 11th a legal holiday, but it was still not officially a federal holiday. It didn't become a federal holiday until it was approved by an act 52 Statute 351-5 U.S. Code Section 87A, if you want to know, which was approved on May 13th, 1938, which made the 11th of November a legal holiday for the federal government. And it was known as Armistice Day in memory of the ending of the Great War, World War I. In 1954, a few years after World War II had ended, which was the greatest mobilization of the military in the U.S. history, a lot of veterans organizations wanted something to recognize their time in service. So the Act of 1938 that made Armistice Day was changed to be called Veterans Day, and it was approved by Public Law 380 on June 1st, 1954. And ever since then, November 11th has been Veterans Day, no longer Armistice Day. Now, in 1968, the government did something called the Uniform Holiday Bill, in which they wanted to push all holidays so it would be 3-day weekends. And the real reason behind this was to encourage travel and commerce and to improve the economy. You know, people getting out traveling because they had a long weekend, spend more money. But a lot of people in a lot of states did not go along with it. They did not like the idea because the holiday was for a specific date for a specific reason. Well, that law didn't last terribly long because on September 20th, 1975, President Gerald Ford signed into public law that Veterans Day would be officially on November 11th each year, and it would start in 1978. And only a government would take 3 years to figure out to move a holiday date. Why it couldn't just be done the next year? I don't know. Maybe calendar production or something. And they didn't want to mess up all the calendars that had already been printed. I don't know. It just seems silly. It took them 3 years to move it back. But ever since 1978, Veterans Day has moved back to the 11th of November.